Hey, Gary here with you, day 57 AI blogging. We're jumping right into Koala today because we're going to be using the bulk mode to finish up some blog posts that we need to get through over from the Universe Unriddled blog post tracker. We want to fill out the rest of this topical authority cluster that we have for the Big Bang Theory. So I'm just going to copy those, take them back over to KoalaWriter. And of course, we are in bulk mode. I'm going to go GPT-4 on this one. I'm going to put in the target keywords. Then I'm going to say AI powered. I'm going to leave this SEO optimized. I'm going to come down, use real-time search results, and include a new FAQ section. I like that one, so we're going to go ahead and use that. Extra section prompt. I'm going to go up to my response manager where I keep all of my prompts for quick access, and I'm going to copy that extra section, and I'm going to take this part out because that's referencing each section when I do this inside of ChatGPT. I'm going to put in that prompt to go a little deeper and make sure it stays or attempts to stay at that 5th grade reading level. Going to include this new option, include key takeaways, and I'm going to go ahead and say bulk create. That's going to queue up those articles. It's going to start writing those in the background. So we'll have those when we're finished, and then we can just take those and move them over into Grooveblog. Speaking of Grooveblog, we had this Big Bang Theory post, and you could see this rich anchor text. We had talked about cleaning this up. Here, it just used like a old school reference style, but it didn't actually create a reference point to that, and I can't think of the word, what that's called when you write an article or when you write like a research paper and then you put in the references. Anyway, then you can see here it referenced some of these. This is pretty good. Hubble's discovery of the expanding universe. And then it linked out to this Wikipedia article. It probably could have linked this entire thing for that rich anchor text, which brought me to a question that I actually just asked. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing here inside of ChatGPT to create these rich anchor text to link out to these blog posts. I'm going to let ChatGPT do this for me. But here, what I've done is I've asked a question. I've gone through a chat, actually an entire chat here, where I've decided to link out to the rich anchor text. And I want to show you that entire chat. But I want to get back here and I want to show you that error there as I scroll through all that. But what happened is it gave me the best practices here for rich anchor text. For rich anchor text, specifically linking out to external URLs, which I really think is the same best practice, whether you're doing internal linking or external linking. But I wanted to be specific in case it came up with something that was relevant to the process of external linking versus internal linking. So here you can see absolutely here are the best practices for creating rich anchor text with examples. And it gave me each of the best practices: relevance, descriptive, concise, let me know to avoid over optimization, to provide context, avoid generic text like click here or read more. Make sure this one's obvious, but make sure the links aren't broken. Sometimes you don't really think about that, but you have to check it to make sure your links aren't broken, and then use synonyms and variations. So either ask ChatGPT for this information or pause here on this video, read this, and then understand what we're going to be doing. Because I want to back up now and start at the beginning of what I did with ChatGPT to create these rich anchor text links, these external links that were created by Koala, just like what we did here. Now in this video, we created a bunch of articles, or we are in the process of Koala creating those articles. Inside bulk mode, it's going to cite these references. So what I did is I had ChatGPT or ChatGPT and the Web Pilot and SEO Core plugin reach out and read that blog post that we created with Koala and those references to those external links, and then come back with rich or suggested rich anchor text. You can see here I had a little problem in my conversation because I wasn't exact or I wasn't detailed enough in my prompt, so it didn't give me the external URL. So I asked it again. You can see it apologized, even though it was my mistake. But then Web Pilot wasn't able to get these external URLs, and I didn't know why it could get some URLs and it couldn't get the others. So I simply did what you would do when you're working with an assistant. Ask, Why were you able to access some of the external URLs and not others? Then it gave me the reason, and it said WebPilot couldn't pull that information. So then I said, please try another plugin. It tried WebPilot again, so I stopped that generation. And then I asked it, please try again with the SEO Core AI plugin to get the external URLs from the blog post. It came back and said, sorry, but the SEO Core AI plugin did not provide the external URLs from the blog post. It seems that the plugin is not designed to extract external URLs from a web page, and it explains what the SEO Core plugin is supposed to do. And I said, good job, chat buddy. Open up another chat and find a plugin that will do that for us. Here you can see I still have the Web Pilot, and then I have the SEO Core AI, and I've enabled a new one called Scraper. Of course, you don't know how to do that. You simply just go to the plugin store. You do that by going under GPT-4, going under plugins, then dropping down and scrolling down to the plugin store. And then when the plugin store loads, simply type in SEO. And you can see here are the SEO ones, or if you're looking for a scraper, type in scraper. I had this one installed, and this may or may not be the same one, but the logo is disappeared or has disappeared. So I'm going to go ahead and uninstall that one while I'm here. And I use this one right here, this one called Scraper. Scrape content from web pages by providing a URL. So here we are back to the window or the chat window where we started this conversation. And I just gave it the exact same prompt. Now my prompt here then provide me a table with rich anchor text suggestions for the external links in the blog post to the existing external links in the blog post. Is really wordy, and after I read it, it doesn't really make much sense. I could be more precise and understand and always remember when we're doing this or when we're doing this case study or anything else that you're doing with AI, you have to remember that you need to be as exact as possible. You get better results. Anyway, it kicked off WebPilot, it kicked off Scraper, and you can see here it was able to pull all the external URLs. Now you're going to see something weird here. It got stuck in a loop and it just kept going and just kept repeating the table. And again, that could be because of my description or my prompt and the fact that it was wordy and it didn't really make a whole lot of sense and it was trying to figure it out. But I would hope that it would have enough sense to stop, but it did not, and it just kept going. You can see here it started again, I think 4 times before I just clicked the stop responding button here. And then what I did is I said, okay, after I looked at some of this rich anchor text in the table, its suggested rich anchor text was basically, it just took the title of the URL or the blog post of the URL maybe, or what it thinks is the title based upon the URL. In this case, you can see National Geographic's article on the origins of the universe. The next one is George Lemaitrie's or Lemaitrie's, I don't know how to pronounce that, contribution to the Big Bang Theory. You can see here, this is the name of the person, the scientist. Then it linked out to National Geographic. Here it didn't mention National Geographic, so that's not too bad. Here it mentioned Wikipedia, and you can see the original anchor text was expanding universe, but then it said Wikipedia's history of the Big Bang universe. Down here it said Hubble's law and redshifts. Then it said Khan's Academy's explanation of Hubble's law and redshifts, which of course this links out to khanacademy.org. I wasn't really satisfied with that rich anchor text or those suggestions. So I said, please give me the best practice for rich anchor text to external URL, which is where we started this. Of course, we started this video with show me the best practices for rich anchor text and then give me some examples, which it did. And of course, now what I'm going to do is have it, you guessed it, recreate the table by saying simply, please recreate the table with the new suggested rich anchor text based on the best practices you gave me in this chat. This is just like if you were having a conversation with somebody and you asked them for input and they gave it to you and it was perfect. You would say, perfect. Now take that information, go back and let's try again, or let's redo this and then see what it comes up with. Here it's starting to create the table. I don't know that it's going to be able to get this right. I don't know that it understands. I think I may have to pick one of the best practices and say, okay, I want you to be descriptive and use, like it says here, learn more about digital marketing strategies versus click here. Or I might need to call it out and say, hey, focus on relevance, because you can see here, it's basically doing the same thing. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and stop there because the exercise here is what it is. It is you and me and the AI trying to figure out what it is we need. And this is where you as a person is looking at the output of the AI and you're saying, you're not getting what I want, or I'm not getting what I want. But of course, that's based on what you're giving it. And again, that goes back to like we started with being as detailed as possible when you give it the prompt. So in this case, now that we have the best practices, I think what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll try this again. Of course, I'll do it off camera, but I'll share with you what I've done. And I'll say, try relevance, try descriptive, try context, any of those best practices to see if I get a different or what I think is a better result. And that is the key when you're creating content, any type of content with the AI, is thinking about how can you get a different result, which is important. But the most important thing to you and the content you're creating is the content better. Can you make it better using the AI to assist you? All right, that's today's update. If you're having fun, give this video a thumbs up. Any questions, comments, let me know. I do appreciate the time you take to leave me those comments. I read every one and reply to every single one as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next update. Bye.